Humble yourself or God will do it for you. Y'all got to stop thinking you bigger than the program. Hey, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to the Soft Life. Now, over here, we do life with style and grace, always real classy base. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell because your RSVP is always confirmed. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's Lori, your content cousin and soft life storyteller. And today we're talking about someone who stays in the headlines, but not always for the right reasons. We're unpacking B. Simone. Not just the influencer, not just the entrepreneur, not just the podcast personality, but the patterns. We're going to talk about why she may not be a girl's girl, why she always seems to be the hero in every story she tells, and how invoking God and Jesus doesn't excuse bad behavior. Let's be clear, this is not a drag or a hit piece. It's a cultural conversation. It's about behavior, not belittling. So grab your tea and let's get into it. First up, let's talk about how B. Simone constantly centers herself in every single situation. Whether she's talking about a friendship fallout, a business mistake, or a breakup, it's always from the perspective of what was done to her, not what she contributed. Now, we've all had our victim moments, but when every story paints you as the hero, the savior, or the misunderstood underdog, that's not transparency. That's a PR script. The plagiarism scandal, she didn't know. Never mind, she sold a book with other folks' work right into it. The podcast host drama. It was miscommunication, but the way she publicly distanced herself showed a lack of accountability. The way she publicly embarrassed Megan, out of order. She wants to be relatable, but never reflective. And real growth, that requires both. The key takeaway, being the main character doesn't mean you're the only character with feelings. Let's be serious. B. Simone is just not a girl's girl. Now listen, being a girl's girl isn't just about being besties with every woman you meet. It's about respect, consistency, and safe sisterhood energy. What we see from B. Simone is this hot and cold dynamic with women. She'll hype them up on social media, post those cute captions like, "Queens fix each other's crowns," but then turn around and shade folks behind coded language like, "I just outgrew them," or "God removed them." Let's talk examples. Falling out with her podcast co-host, Megan Brooks, aka Miss Skittles, that separation was messy and cold, outright disrespectful, with B. Simone doing soft shade while trying to seem unbothered. There's also the general dismissiveness when talking about female energy or being misunderstood by women, that I don't get along with women. That vibe is not girls energy. It's rooted in ego and avoidance. Being a girl's girl means you don't make women disposable. You speak life into women, not just for likes. And when things go left, you handle it like an adult, not with passive aggressive podcast quotes. Performing faith to excuse foolery. Now this is where it gets delicate but necessary. B. Simone often invokes her Christian faith when she's facing backlash. And listen, I love Jesus the same, but let's be real. God is not your PR team. There's a difference between saying, "I'm growing spiritually," and using religion as a smokescreen for avoidance. Pattern to note. When she's called out, she'll say, "I prayed about it," or "God told me to let that go." But what about restitution? What about doing right by people? What about making amends? Spirituality should sharpen your integrity, not cushion your ego. And let's be honest, when people lean into God language, only when they're being criticized, it starts to feel like less like conviction and more like deflection. Key thought. If Jesus is at the center, the fruit of that should be humility, not hollow justification. Now, before we jump back in, I just need a moment of your time for something dear to my heart and definitely worth the shine.
This fall, you're invited to something truly special. Join us for a cup of gratitude happening Saturday, October 12th at the beautiful Walnut Creek Country Club in Mansfield. We're celebrating friendship, sisterhood, and the power of showing up for women battling breast cancer. Expect elegant tea, good vibes, and even better conversations. Spots are limited, so gather your girls and secure your seat at the table, because this isn't just a tea party, it's a purpose-filled celebration. Your RSVP is confirmed.
One thing B. Simone has mastered is curating vulnerability. She cries on camera, writes deep captions, and says, "I'm just being real." But realness without risk is just a brand strategy. It's given emotionally manufactured. Let's break it down. She uses the transparency aesthetic, but never really gets to the root. It's like, I'm crying, but I'm also launching this new product. Link in bio. She'll show sadness, but rarely takes us through the self accountability journey. That's not authenticity, that's content. And look, we're all building brands, but when the persona starts to overshadow the person, people start feeling played. We can't connect to someone who's always curating the perfect breakdown moment for the algorithm. And here's another truth we need to address: this content game doesn't last forever. Going viral is cute, having a following is powerful, but the money, baby, it's not promised. Algorithms change, attitude span shifts, brand deals dry up, and that's exactly why we're now seeing B. Simone publicly cry about her finances. Because when your income is tied to the internet's mood and your brand is built on borrowed emotion and borrowed time, it will humble you fast. Content creation is a blessing, but if there's no solid foundation, no reinvention, no real business acumen underneath it, you'll find yourself oversharing on the same platform that once applauded you, this time looking for grace instead of engagement. Let's get to the root of it all. B. Simone's biggest issue is B. Simone. She says the right things but doesn't follow through. She knows how to present evolution without practicing it. Receipts: she had a platform primed for greatness, but self sabotage with laziness, the plagiarism, elitism, no 9 to 5 men, and shallow vulnerability. Her friendships crumbled, her brand got clowned, her message lacked credibility. And through it all, she'll post another "I'm just in a season of shedding" story, like we didn't just watch her dodge accountability again. Truth moment. She is not being silenced, she's being clocked. And the gag is, most people want to root for her, but you can't build a community on "I'm evolving" if all you ever do is rotate the same cycle of chaos with different wigs and a Bible verse. Friendship is just not about likes. Now, before we close, I need to bring this full circle because this conversation is bigger than B. Simone. It's about how we all define friendship in this clout chasing, curated, soft life, self care era. We've gotten so used to calling people sis and queen online, but behind closed doors, we watching folks struggle in silence and calling it giving them space. Let me tell you something. With real friendship, it's not passive. Let me say this loud. Assistance is not always financial. Sometimes your friend just needs your consistency, loyalty, a shoulder, a solution. But too many folks are emotionally unavailable and spiritually disconnected, calling themselves good friends while their people are going through real battles. And a true friend wouldn't let you suffer out loud. If you're watching your friend fall apart while posting selfies and sending prayers, you are not a friend. And we got to unlearn that because sisterhood requires action, not just affirmations. So, as we reflect on B. Simone and her patterns, let's reflect on ours too. Are we showing up for our friends beyond the photo ops? Are we being honest when our actions hurt people? Are we checking in on our friends that never ask? Because that's what it's really about, being better women to each other. Let me close this out with love and clarity. This isn't about canceling B. Simone. This is about calling for better because the potential is there, but so is the pattern. So, what can we all learn from this? Being a girl's girl requires intentionality and honesty. Being vulnerable means showing the ugly, not just the aesthetic sadness. And being spiritual means doing the hard work, not just using God as a catch all caption. We want to see her win, but winning requires work, not just weeping on IG stories. If you're going to be a voice for women, then be that. Not just when the check clears, but when the mirror calls you out. All right, y'all. Thank you for riding this out with me. If you felt any of this in your spirit, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. And follow me on all socials at RSVP with Lori for more fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and the truth with a touch of love. Until next time, your RSVP is confirmed.